Thank you. Thank you to Baylor and to our band. Isn't that a beautiful song? Yeah, over the weekend, I listen to New Thought music. That's what I want to fill my being with. And I was listening to various artists, and there's so many songs out there that speak to this message, that speak to, the pain that we experience in our personal lives and as things are happening around us, but that also speak about this message of love. And that love is the final answer. Love is what is. So how many of you here get the Wings newsletter via either coming in and picking it up or electronically? How many of us? If you do not get it, I want to encourage you. You can go to our website, and there's a little place where you can click to get it electronically. If you would like to get it and pick it up here, you'll just need to come and fill out a form. Also, I want to encourage you that if you do not get the phone tree or the email blast, that is something that we have set up. But let me ask you this. How many of us forget things? Man, you guys who don't forget things, I'm impressed. I'm reminded by my Post-it notes and various things I have going on. And so many times when we have something going on at the church, I'll hear somebody say, "Oh my gosh, I meant to come to that. I just forgot." Well, the nice thing about the phone tree and the email blast is generally once a week, usually Thursday, you're going to get a phone call or an email that reminds you what's going on here at the church so that you don't have to miss things that you really want. And you can sign up for that in the office, or is it in the back of the chair too? Okay, on the back of the chair. So, speaking of the Wings, I want to share with you my letter for this month. So it says, "Hello, friends. Since we last communicated, we all experienced a devastating event together with the shootings in Orlando, which took 49 innocent lives and injured many, many more. Our hearts are grieved, and we ask questions such as why? How could someone do that? And when are we going to do something about semi-automatic weapons? And when is the hate and the separation going to end?" And the fact is, we don't have the answer to those questions, but we do have the solution. And that solution is love. More than ever before, we are being called to the highest level of love that we have ever expressed. So what does that look like? It looks like a willingness to go deeper. It looks like a willingness to get real and honest with ourselves about where we are practicing separation in our own lives, such as unrighteous judgment, making someone wrong because they're different from us, talking about people behind their backs, putting people down, etc. It looks like a willingness to love out loud with our hearts wide open with compassion for every human being. It looks like a willingness to connect with those who are unlike us, serve those who are in need, and to be present with those whose ideas are different than ours. Love isn't some airy-fairy, pie-in-the-sky, skip-along, everything is wonderful feeling. True love is willing to get into the trenches and do something. True love is an action verb, and only true love will save our world. I am proud to be a part of an organization whose message exemplifies love. And as members and friends of Unity of Springfield, we have the opportunity right now to step up and be the love that is needed. And as the spiritual leader, I am calling you, yes, you, every one of you, into a deeper relationship with the God of your understanding. I am inviting you to become more fully engaged with transforming your life, transforming others' lives, and thereby transforming the world. I am inviting you to become more active in this ministry, Unity of Springfield. Alone, we can't do this, but together, we can accomplish anything. I challenge you to make Sunday mornings a priority in your life. And if you have children, to make sure they're here to hear this amazing, powerful message. I challenge you to become more involved in your ministry through volunteering out of a sense of wanting this to be the very best version of ministry that we all came here to be together. I am challenging you to financially support this mission of Unity of Springfield generously. I am challenging you to come to classes, workshops, Wednesday evening connections in the summer, small groups, and more. I am challenging you to make time daily to feed your spirit through prayer, meditation, daily reading, etc. I'm challenging you to make your spiritual journey the most important thing in your life, because it is. My friends, we have come into this life at a time to make a difference. And as Margaret Mead said, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. With love, Sue. With great love, Sue, actually, it says. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's interesting because this whole idea of love, I know that at times people have kind of made fun of unity, you know, like we bury our head in the sands and it is just love, 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 all about, you know. And yet the love that we're talking about, that love is what we are doing and how we are showing up, what we are being. And, you know, 1 John 4:8 says that God is love. And in unity, what do we say? God is the only presence and power. So the only true power in the universe and in our life is love. That's the true power. And so that is why love can and will heal this world as each of us makes the commitment to show up and presence love in the greatest and grandest way, far beyond what we have been showing up and far beyond even what we can imagine today. That is what's going to change the world. And it truly will change the world. Now, for this year, we are talking about one of the 12 powers each month. And here we are with the last week of the month. But for this month, the power that we're talking about is divine order. Now, for those of you who don't know, our co-founder, Charles Fillmore, there's a book called The 12 Powers of Man. And he looked at each disciple and discerned which disciple best exemplified whatever that power was, and then there was a placement in the body where that particular power lives. So for divine order, it is represented by James, the son of Alphaeus, and it is located behind the navel. Now, order is my ability, guess what? To keep God first in my continuous development. To keep God first, to keep God first, to keep God first, to keep God first. Because how many times do we not go to God first? How many times do we not remember what it is that we live and move and have our being in? And then finally, all of a sudden, we're like, oh, wait. I need to get out of this stuff here, and I need to go back to my center. So order is our ability to keep God first. Order is my reminder that God is intimately involved in all things. Now that's interesting because, you know, we can look at the challenges that we have been having in our world and, you know, we can ask, where is divine order? Where is divine order in this? Where is God in all of this and all of the horrific things that have been happening? So first I want to remind us that we have been given an incredible gift, and that gift is free will. Every single one of us has free will. And what that means is that we can use our power, that creative power, to focus on love and expansion and kindness and compassion and oneness. Or we can choose to use our creative power and focus on hate and anger and separation and, you know, righteousness, and we see that that's a lot of what has been happening here in our world, that people are using their power for something that is outside what we would call the realm of absolute love. And so I've got to tell you that there's this story, actually I think it is in the Tao Te Ching, but about a man who had a farm and his horse got loose, and when his horse got loose, the neighbors came and said, we're so sorry, and then the guy was like, it's neither good nor bad. And then the horse comes back, the people come, it's good, and he says neither good or bad. And then his son gets on the horse, his son falls off, he breaks his legs, and the people come and say, oh, it's so bad. He says it's neither good or bad. And then the war comes, his son doesn't have to go to war because his leg is broken again. They come back, oh, that's so great, it's neither good or bad. Now I understand that. And yet at the same time, I'm going to say to you, bad things happen. In fact, I'm going to call this an evil act. And oh my God, I said the word evil in a Unity church. Oh my gosh. Charles Fillmore tells us that evil is a parasite that can only be sustained through its parent. And in this case, through its parents. The parents of evil: separation, anger, hate, fear, and more. That is what feeds this evil. And as long as those ideas are given attention, then this energy of evil exists in our world. And, I cannot sit here and say, oh, that was good. It was bad. It was horrific. And it was awful. But here's the thing, too. Evil in and of itself is not a power. It's not a power. It's an energy, because there's only one presence and power, and that is love. And the moment that love comes in and just stands solidly and emanates itself, and we're not feeding that energy, evil dissipates. It's gone. It's gone. It's like coming into a room that's dark, you flip on the light, and what happens? The darkness wasn't there to begin with. It's light. Light is what will always overcome the darkness and the evil. So when things like this happen, how do we see that there's divine order in this? So I'm going to share with you that there's many opinions to this question. I am not a person who believes in predestination. I do not for 1 minute believe that God made this happen for some higher purpose. Not a chance. And here's why. Because man made this happen. A man who was filled with hate. A man who was probably very mentally disturbed. The man did it. God didn't. However, I am a firm believer that the moment that anything happens in our personal lives and in our world, that the moment that anything happens, that God, the Holy Spirit, the divine, immediately is taking it and is weaving it into this greater tapestry of love and goodness for all. And our part in that is to stand solidly in that knowing and hold to that vision. What happens so many times in our world, and of course we have our human experience, and I'm always about, it's okay what you feel, we just don't want to stay there. But then it becomes this whole thing of them and us, and again, separation and anger and all, fear, fear. There's a lot of fear stuff going around right now. And if we stay focused on that, we're feeding the parasite. But as we stay focused on the knowing that even though this doesn't feel good, even though I can't understand this, at this moment, I can tap myself into, I can anchor myself into, but this is being used for the greater good. And every time something happens like this, it always is amazing to me, because every ounce of separation is gone. And people come together. You believe this, I was nothing, all of those walls are down, and everybody just comes together, and they come together in love, and they come together to serve and to help, and we see each other as human beings. Nothing matters in those moments. And why do we wait? Why do we wait? And how often are we ourselves withholding, standing back from, and not connecting with each other on that level where there are no walls? I'm always going to say, set healthy boundaries. If there's somebody in your life that is an abuser or something like that, does not mean that you have to become best friends with the abuser. Doesn't mean that you have to become best friends with somebody who's committed a heinous act. What it does mean is that having those boundaries set, am I focusing on love? Am I praying for them as I would pray for my most beloved person in my life? Because that is what feeds the love and expands the love when we are able to do that. And you guys, we have opportunities every day, numerous times a day, to wake up and to become aware of this and to see, am I in separation? Am I in oneness? Am I in the place of love? And you know what? Sometimes we're going to get off track. And I know for myself, the best thing I can do is I step back. I just need to step back for a little bit, get back to my center. And then I'm always guided, to what is the next thing for me to do, and how to show up. So what is ours to do in this? And can I have the clicker? I have it. So Wayne Dyer, I love his book called Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And he writes in this book about the Tao Te Ching. And verse 49 was one that I was drawn to. And it says, the sage has no fixed mind. He is aware of the needs of others. Those who are good, he treats with goodness. Those who are bad, he also treats with goodness because the nature of his being is good. He is kind to the kind. He is also kind to the unkind because the nature of his being is kindness. He is faithful to the faithful. He is also faithful to the unfaithful. The sage lives in harmony with all below heaven. He sees everything as his own self. He loves everyone as his own child. All people are drawn to him. He behaves like a little child. And so Wayne Dyer goes on to share that he believes that the basic solution for war and conflict is to move something like this. Rather than saying, God bless America, or God bless whatever country that we're in, or saying something like, Allah save our people, Krishna bless those who believe in you, we can say, God bless humanity. God bless humanity. Bless every person. That we don't separate or leave out anyone. Let's just say that together. God bless humanity. And let that be your prayer. Let that be your focus. Let that be something that you are so aware of every day that when things show up, you immediately go to God bless humanity. God bless humanity. And let me know that I can treat everyone with kindness. And I love how it's said in here, because that's our nature. Kindness and goodness and oneness and love, that's our nature. That's who we are. And when you think about it, how many of us, when we're in anger and frustration and fear, how many of us feel good? I mean, really good. We may feel like, I feel good because I'm getting it out. Excuse if you're doing it towards somebody else. But it doesn't really make us feel good. But when we're in a place where we're connected, where we're being in a place of love, where we're serving, where we're in compassion and kindness, where we're in this place, that feels really good, doesn't it? Because that's our nature. That is our innate DNA, spiritual DNA. That's absolutely who we are. Louise Hay said, if I want to be loved as I am, I have to be willing to love others as they are. Huge. Huge. Charles Fillmore, said, in divine mind, love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it, the great harmonizing principle known to man. Recognizing that it is love. Love is the energy that has taken all of the chaos of the creation of the universe and galaxies and our planets and has brought it into this divine harmony. Love is that which binds everything together. And so we really can no longer make excuses about why we're not showing up that way. with ourselves, with other people, and with the world as a whole. I've shared with you at the beginning of the year that it became so clear to me that my mission as the spiritual leader of Unity of Springfield is to encourage and inspire and to empower. And part of that means, and I'm going to say to you over and over again, and I'm saying it to myself, no excuses. No more excuses. I believe that we are all here today. We're listening to this message because it is time, and we know something in us has urged us to be here. Something in us is saying, you are so much more than you can even fathom, and you have so much power beyond what you can begin to recognize to make a difference in this world. And every single one of us matters. And we can't diminish that in ourselves. We can't step back and say, wow, what is it that I have to give? You have everything to give. And everything that you have to give is within you right now. And it is just waiting for you to allow it to express. But we've got to get out of our own way with all the stuff, with all the excuses, with the, this is how I've always been, or whatever it is. We've got to stop. And we've got to start being more fully who we came here to be. There's a reason, you guys, why we're here at this time. There's a reason why we're on this planet at this time. And there's a reason why we are in this kind of a thought. Because, in a sense, we've been called. And we have been called to bring the light and to bring the love and to help make that difference. Our Unity Worldwide Ministry CEO, Donna Johnson, said, "How could our hearts not be broken when hatred and violence seem to be escalating in our country and innocent people are lost to their loved ones? How can we feel secure when we go outside of our homes or tell a loved one a routine, goodbye, see you later, only to find that we will not? There is no mistaking that we live in challenging and even dangerous times. However, our biggest challenge is loving in the midst of pain and tragedy. And the most powerful thing that we can do is love fully and forgive completely on a daily basis." Hear that. Forgive deeply on a daily basis. That means that anything that went on during the day, that I'm not going to take it into the next day. Really, the goal would be not to even take it into the next hour. That I'm so committed to, something gets me out of whack. That's like, okay, wait a second. I'm going to come back in. I'm going to just be in that place of love and guide me in this. So we're not taking it. Huge. Because if we're taking unforgiveness day after day, we are feeding the parasite of evil. And we want to feed love. She said, if we learn to be still in the midst of pain and chaos and tap into the truest, deepest part of our hearts, particularly within our closest relationships where day-to-day things are spoken or go unspoken, we can turn this tide. We can become the light, the love, and the peace we seek, and we can become the unity that we know that we are. It's our time. And, I've said before, here's your homework if you choose to do it. And so today I'm saying, do the homework. No more excuses. When you go out into your day today, start looking around and look at people. And let yourself just kind of tap into, where am I at? Am I feeling some separation? And allow yourself to just connect in some deeper way. Maybe you can even start a conversation. When you go anywhere that you're at, when you find yourself in this place where you're, any of us know you guys know that place? That we are taking the time to step back and breathe and say, okay, what's this bringing up for me? And I want to presence love here. I'm open to presencing love here. And you will be shown how. You will absolutely be shown how to do that. So I'd like us to close with the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, where we're going to do this in the first person. So I'm going to invite us to stand. And I'm going to invite us to say this together. Lord, I am an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, I sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, I do not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that I receive. It is in pardoning that I am pardoned. And it is in dying that I am born again to eternal life. And that dying is dying to that old way of being. It's dying to the old paradigm of how we've always shown up. It's dying to the paradigm of the excuses. And it's fully stepping into and taking ownership of who we have come to be here in this world. You are the presence of love. And I want to encourage you and empower you to move from this place and to let your light shine so brilliantly that because you are there, others will know the truth. That's what that scripture is about, that they will be so drawn to how you are showing up, that you will light someone else, and you will light someone, and they'll light someone, and this beautiful ripple effect. So I say to you, Namaste. I see the light in each of you, and so it is.